Cantaloupe again, here with another installment on this work in progress, creating a hosting service for online assets, images, videos, that kind of thing. So get right into it. And in this video, I'm going to cover an interesting feature a lot of websites used to have, and I haven't seen it so much lately, although you do in some cases. Dropbox, for example, or GitHub, you'll see when you upload a file, you'll get a progress bar that expands or shows you, for especially if you're doing large files, it'll show you what percentage you're at. It's just kind of it's not super necessary, especially if you have a fast internet connection, but if you don't, or if it's a really big file, it can be really handy to see the progress. So I'm going to explain how that it can be accomplished pretty easily. The modern interface, since about going on almost eight or 9 years ago now, is the Fetch API in JavaScript. That's the front end API. It's an application programming interface that connects to the back end, or another website, any website or resource, I should say. Fetch is pretty cool. It does a lot of really great stuff, and it's partly redundant to the older version of the older API that did transfers and accessing resources remotely, that kind of thing, which was the XML HTTP request. It's a kind of a mouthful, but it was a little clumsy and not super intuitive how to use it and set it up, and the documentation never quite was easy to read. So they kind of just did a big full overhaul and rolled out the Fetch API with the Async features. If you're familiar with that, Async is blocking or non-blocking. JavaScript at some point included the ability to wait for things to happen. And it included promises and a framework called Async, which is short for asynchronous code, basically. So, it was all part of I believe the ES6 package that came out around 2016, quite some time ago now. But the Fetch API replaced XML HTTP request, which it left out something really important. The Fetch API does not support progress that I'm aware of, and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about that, let me know, but I'm pretty sure I'm right that there's no way to detect, just because of how the Fetch API works, the progress of a transfer in process. So you can't display it. If you can't read it, you could maybe make an animation that simulates it, but that's not accurate. That's not really what's happening. So the former method or system used to offer a progress feature, and it still works. It's backward. The current modern JavaScript, front-end JavaScript, is backwards compatible with, as far as I know, all the older legacy code, and it has to be, because there's still websites that run it. And another example would be when you need something like this that isn't supported in the new APIs. So XML HTTP requests, once you configure it, you give it a destination, you set up what kind of payload it's going to be transferring, and then you can actually check right in the middle of your transfer, which may take, it may be instantaneous, and it may take, minutes or hours or longer. You can check how many bytes have been transferred. So there's still a little bit of math involved. It's not just a plug and play thing where you just type a few characters and it's done. But you can see on the screen here, I'm implementing those transfer. It's multi-file transfer progress indicators. So it's going to show you as you drop or select with your cursor or whatever, a number of files. It's going to show you the progress for each individual file as it's being transferred. This is just a really cool feature of web technology in general. It's not even really a part of part of JavaScript. It's been built into the very foundation of HTTP, the protocol. You can do parallel, simultaneous uploads or downloads. It's all the same to the system. It's all the same to the internet. The packets are reassembled in order, but they don't necessarily arrive in order. Networking is a big subject. I'm not going to get into all that, but you can do multiple simultaneous transfers, which is really cool. So with the fetch API, typically you're going to just do one call, which is good. It's efficient. You attach any number of files, whatever you're trying to transfer, to a single request, and that's the preferred way because it's one request, and one request will be cheaper in terms of resource usage than, say, if you're uploading 20 or 100 files. If you want to see the progress, for example, on all of those transfers, you're going to have to do that many individual transfers, and that's just kind of there's no real way around that I'm aware of. So going back to the older system of XML HTTP request, you're losing a little bit of efficiency, but in exchange for a much more user-friendly interface, one that provides the progress indicators, or the potential for that anyway. So that's a lot to say about it. I kept the upload script. I actually initially wrote an upload script for the fetch for use with the fetch API, so it supports the multi-file transfer, the parallel transfer. And then I decided I wanted the progress bars, so I rolled the front end back to XML HTTP request, but I kept the upload script on the server the same, and it didn't need to change. It just handles an array of one file per call. So the script itself is called, so if you upload 10 files as the user before, it would just show you an animation. But now it shows you 10 progress bars for each file, and it represents 10 separate calls to the script if you're uploading that many files, and it's a substantial increase in overhead as far as how many requests you're making. But again, I think that it's very worth it for the individual progress. And those could be lumped together. A lot of websites do that. So you upload 100 files, it's just going to show you one progress bar. But I like to see, which it's kind of a race. It's a little artistic animation thing, kind of. And I don't even allow more than 15 uploads at this time per transaction or transfer. So it's not really a huge deal. Anyway, that's about it. Again, if there's any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Reach out. Look forward to showing you another thing next time. Thank you.